Hey guys, welcome back to Blacklist Universe. Today we're doing yet another Concord redesign based on Golf Ball Head Girl. That's what I call her anyways. Her name's actually Roka, so just as inventive a name as her costume is. We'll get to that in 30 seconds, but let me introduce myself. I'm Mike S. Miller, 32-year veteran of the comic book industry, DC, Marvel, Game of Thrones, Hedge Knight artist, and creator of numerous intellectual properties including Lone Star, available now at lonestarcomic.com. Now I'm here to give my take on where my industry has gone, where the general media landscape has taken our culture over the span of my lifetime, and where I'd like to see it go in the future. I'm not here to hate everything or to assume the worst for clicks, but I am here to fight the culture war, as I have been doing since the AOL message boards were a thing back in 1996. I am that old. If you think the culture is worth saving and worth fighting for, please stick around and join the Blacklist Universe family. We're here to make a difference, and hope you are too. Now, back to the story. This is the base design that I selected. What can I say? It is boring. It is a golf ball head in a bodysuit with a flat chest, and it's a girl. The thing you'll see, I'm going in and tracing the body here and just kind of getting around and doing the base shapes, because like I said, I try to maintain the character, although now I'm starting to change things up a little bit. I emphasize the sort of cat shape on her helmet, and then I'm going in and I'm giving her some shoulder pads and a little bit of design on the helmet to kind of flare it out, because like I said, it's always about the silhouette in character design. And then yes, I actually gave her breasts, because girls have breasts. This girl character, Roka, had no breasts. And, that's fine. There's people out there with no breasts. But when you're playing a video game, what you want to be playing are idealized characters, not they should be idealized characters. That's the way I put it. And you can go as far back as human history to see every sculpture and painting. And women, when people are painting and sculpting and creating artwork of women, they create idealized women. And, yeah, sure, there's times in history where those idealized women might have been a little plumper, but you know what they always had? Breasts. And I do apologize to our flat-chested fans out there. Although this channel is like 99% male-dominated, so I'm talking to my audience here. Who cares? In redesigning the helmet, I did, like I said, I gave that a little bit of a flair. I tried to keep that sort of Hello Kitty face shape on the face screen, but I didn't understand where they were going with this. Why did they have a blast shield up with like air holes in it? It didn't make any sense to me, so I just took it and I made it into a standard face shield. So I do apologize. That's not exactly what the character was before, but I am taking some artistic liberties because of how bland and boring this particular Concord character was. She did have that sort of nozzle feature in the front of her helmet, and so I took that and I added hoses to it to make it look like, well, maybe it's a breathing apparatus, and if it's a breathing apparatus, then maybe this is a spacesuit, and the point of the spacesuit is to be able to go outside. And so, I don't know, I thought the hoses would give it another little bit of a texture and design feel that would make it more visually appealing and interesting to look at. Like I made the point yesterday about design. Design is about making sure that every part of a design is interesting to look at. Every shape has to be an interesting shape. I'm not going to say I'm the world's greatest designer, but compared to the guys that did Concord, there's no comparison. So I did puff up her gloves a little bit here, just to sort of, I don't know. To me, it's when you give them kind of the little bit of bulky gloves at the end of a thinner female arm, it gives sort of a sense of femininity and shape, frankly, and interesting, more interesting dynamics than just having her arm taper off. So yeah, I did give a little bit of, gauntlet-y feel around the forearms, and then the bulkier gloves, and it just, I don't know, I thought it was a more interesting look than what they had going on, basically. I stuck with the one-sided leg shield thing. What do you call that? It's I don't know if it's armor or what, but they had it kind of like one side going up. And that's one thing I took away. I did like it. So I kind of just puffed it up a little bit, separated it from the hip a little bit to give it a sense that it is, well, to give that silhouette a little bit more of a bump. But also, I just found it to be more visually appealing than what they had previously. I didn't do a whole lot with the bottom half of the legs. Again, I took away so much from the helmet, which is sort of the feature on the character, because otherwise it's just a bodysuit with a golf ball for a head, right? That's the way I described this character, and I feel like that was a pretty accurate description. Sorry if my audio is going in and out. I'm sort of looking at a screen while trying to speak into my microphone here. And then I add some just minor elements, to that leg guard thing. I kind of did change my mind here. Then I added the strap. And again, the strap gives it that unbalanced, because it's at this point it is pretty symmetrical. And if you want to throw some little asymmetrical things in there to make her pop out as a character, then that's always fun. But yeah, gosh, look how more feminine she looks already. She doesn't look like a 12-year-old boy in a bodysuit anymore. She looks like a female character. And yeah, I did, if you notice from my initial sketch to my final design, I did switch around where I put the ribbing. I hate to use that term. Just the line work on the costume so that it has this consistency where and maybe that's sort of an old 90s comic book throwback concept idea where you put these lines across a character to it's sort of shorthand for texture, I'll be honest with you. It's not like it's robot parts or, showing that it's mechanical. It is really just shorthand texture, because that's the thing. You want your characters to have fun textures and whatnot, but when you're drawing comic books, you can't have, there's that silhouette. Now, look at the silhouette, the variation between that silhouette and the original silhouette. It really does pop a lot better, even in small pixel form. But back to my point, when you're drawing comic book characters, you're drawing the same figure hundreds of times in a comic book. You can't bog it down with endless amounts of texture, no matter how interesting it makes the character look, because you have a schedule to keep, right? And if you're drawing a character a gazillion times, every half an hour you add to drawing a character, I mean, do that 100 times in a comic book, and you just added eons to the development of the artwork for any comic book. That's why most comic book characters are more simple, and it does make them more striking. And then, conversely, you look at the way they design them for movies and whatnot, and they add all kinds of nonsense design work, which, it does make them more interesting to look at. But, oh my gosh, try to draw that stuff on a monthly basis. You'll want to kill yourself. It's just way too much detail in the movie versions of these things. But when you're doing a one-off design like this, you can add some intricate detail. But like I said, old habits die hard. I am a comic book illustrator, so this is kind of the shorthand for texture that we tend to use in my world. So here again, I didn't want to go over once again the tint, tone, highlights type of thing. I'm just throwing some shade and some tints on there to give the coloring some form. And now I'm doing the separation with, again, the contrasting colors to see where I want to drop those colors to break up the singular color that I had going on. Give the eye something interesting to look at. Sometimes less is more, so I deleted away some of the stuff. I didn't want to put too much down there at the feet, but I did want to bring the color down to the feet, so just kind of popped them in there. And now I'm going in with the grays again and separating out some basic metal parts or other textured parts. I don't want to use too many more than 3 colors on anything, because it can get very, very busy. There's a basic rule in color theory that if you're using saturated colors, you don't want to use too many because the eye can only handle so much. Otherwise, it doesn't just look busy, it becomes an eyesore. I'm using relatively desaturated colors here so I can get away with more. I could, but I'm not going to because I like the simplicity of you know, not monochromatic, but just 2 base colors and then some you know, what do you call it? Some sort of filigree or detail coloring, like, you know, adding grays, or if I want to add a gold or a blue or something, just a little spots to just break it up. And you know, in nature, if you look around in nature, you'll notice like trees and plant life and everything has a little place for your eye to rest. It's like even in a tree, you look at a tree, it's all green, right? But if you really look closely, you'll see there's yellow leaves or red leaves or you know, the brown branches or whatever. It's sort of a contrasting color to the green so that your eye has a place to rest from that big solid green color, because that's, I don't know, that's the way God intended it. That's the way he made nature to work. And that's the way I tend to look at color design on my characters. So here I'm going and just trying to see what kind of crazy combinations I can make with the skin and these 2-tone variations. A few of them I think look pretty cool, but I ended up ultimately settling with a sort of a stealth look. I know it looks very dissimilar from the original color scheme, which was just that bland pastel thing with you know, that bland pastel thing with the golf ball for a head. And to me, no, I'm not a fan of that. So my final version was a pink, and so I took the pink, oversaturated it a bit, added the black to break it up, and I think I came out with a pretty decent looking design for golf ball head girl with skin suit. I can't remember her name. I forgot her name again. I'm terrible. It is Roka. Her name is Roka. Anyways, I know that Concord has been canceled. It's got 2 days left, I guess, out there in the real world before the servers shut down. So what am I going to do next, guys? What do you want me to redesign next in this series of illustrative redesigning for characters? Let me know in the comment section below, or if you didn't like what I did, let me know. Or if you did like what I did, just whatever, leave a comment in the comment section below. It really does help the algorithm. It helps this channel to grow. And these redesign videos really have been my best performing videos of late. So I'm going to keep doing these as long as you keep watching them. My name's Mike. Like, subscribe, and share like it says on the screen. Don't forget, culture is downstream from media, so let's make some great media and change this culture. God bless us, everyone. I'll see you on the next video.